So the big idea for Chapter 2 has applications for the 4 probability sampling methods. So the first thing is you have to identify which sampling method is used. And the clue is kind of right in the statement itself. The first one is from each island. So you want to go back through and look at your notes and what probability sampling was taken from each island. Once you determine that, you're going to take samples from these 3 islands, and you must realize that the number of villages is different on each island. Ironboard has 6. Count the others and determine how many you would need to make a sample of 9. And so the first mistake people think about is just like, oh, I'm going to take 3 from each. And I can tell you that's incorrect. There are more in different islands, therefore there should be more in their sample. So it is not 3 from each. So go back and think about that. Then you have to answer, how is probability used to select these individual villages? So if I was to take the Ironboard and there were 6 total, how would I determine which villages in my sample would I take? So where does the random number generator come into play? The second probability method is, what is it called when you take from the entire island? See, the clue is right within the sample or in the statement itself. So when you're going to take an entire island, what's the sampling method? And then which of these 3 are you going to take? Ironboard, Province, or Bonsante? And so how do you tell? How is probability used to determine which of those you would take? Probability sampling method 3. I label this as systematic, so that's the count-off system, so that was given to you. And what you have to realize is the number that you start with is determined by how many you want in your sample size. So the sample interval you're going to determine for me to get 30. So if I was to say that there were 60 and I needed to choose 10, and I divided that, I would get 6. So that would be my sample interval. Not where I start, but it would be my counting number. So if I had all 60 listed here, okay, I would choose randomly using my random number generator, and I would pick a number between 1 and 6. Let's suppose I chose 4. 4 would be my starting value, and I would count every 6, and that would be my next one, and I should come up with the number close to 30. For your sample, in mine, I would get 10 in my sample if I counted every 6. You need to use 30, and you also need to know how many households are on your island that you chose. Mine was 10. Yours is 30. The second page of that is the last sampling method, and it's the simple random. So the first 2 are either cluster or stratified. In sample method 4, there's a number of things you need to do here. So you need to go into the islands. So I'm going to switch my screenshot here.